All right, we are at day 5 of this prep, so we got close grip bench. It's more of a tricep bench day, so yeah, um, one of the more favorite days. So I'm looking forward to this one for sure, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, we we're about 120 days out from a meet right now, going into this prep. So yeah, I'm gonna do the top set of 12 today on close grip, and yeah, which seems like a ton. Even now thinking about it, seems like a ton. But I've had really good success with this in the past. I've done some Greg Knuckles programs before, where it had you do like a main bench day and a secondary like close grip day, and it had you do AMRAPs with 12 reps, 10 and 8, and honestly, the higher reps on like the close grip for some reason really drove my bench up, and my close grip went up very quickly by doing the volume. So I think I've done like 225 for 12 before. I think multiple times. So we're gonna do a heavy set of 12 today. Don't know really what that's gonna look like per se, but we're gonna shoot for something and try to keep it at RP like 7 and then go from there. But yeah. Well, that pretty much wraps up the trading day. So everything went pretty decent. Pretty much exactly how I wanted to go. Again, it's all week one stuff, so like everything seems like undershooting. Everything seems like not enough. But it's all to like to prime for the next week, to prime for the week after, to then get to week 4, and then really hit some top sets. So I thought it went pretty well. Close grip 185 for 12. Yeah, I think realistically I could have done 14, 16 reps of that. Again, it's hard to judge RPE, at least for me, when it comes to like higher rep stuff, because I feel like when you're doing those higher rep sets, like the first half of it is an absolute cakewalk. And honestly, even on that close grip, I didn't feel almost any type of difficulty until like rep number 9. And that's like when it like really kicked in, and every rep felt harder and harder than the last one did. So RP is super hard for me to gauge in like the higher rep sets, but I don't know, I'm trying to do my best here. If anything, as long as I can get like a decent progression going to where on week 4 it is more of a close to like an all-out set. I'm gonna hit like an RP 9, 9.5 for a lot of these lifts, is my plan. So I think close grip I might cap at like 8.5, maybe get to 9, but yeah, other than that, great, other past that, pretty good tricep work throughout the whole workout. So really like the JM press, the black press that I did. I had not really thrown in before, something like that. Haven't done it on a Smith machine yet. Haven't really done high reps. I also haven't done it with a lighter weight to do the speed like that, but personally know a guy that benches way more than me. But in his main philosophy when it came to accessory work, especially tricep work, was being very, very explosive with it. I've seen him do some tricep extensions and or heard of him doing some tricep extensions where he almost like rips the cable off the machine. So I'm trying to take that kind of approach into it, trying to take like the speed approach into it. I don't know if I necessarily want to do like speed work like Westside, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of their speed work was just volume, spread thin between a lot of sets. I don't know if I necessarily want that. It's not more of we're not trying to get like dynamic out of it. But I do want a bit of explosion out of my triceps. So, and I don't want the load to go higher on the block press. So, because on the block press, the reason I structured it as doing a close grip and then my JM and then the block is I wanted to like pre-fatigue my triceps to where I wasn't going up on the load for it. I wanted to go higher on volume and find something that would really stimulate my triceps in a different way without adding the load. Because on the block press, especially on the Smith machine, I mean, if we're doing sets of 10, I could probably do 225 plus after doing close grip in a JM press, just because the movement's pretty easy, especially for me having shorter arms. I'm basically barely bending at the elbows and then extending my arms. It's not a really hard movement. So I figured I'd switch up a little bit and get the work and stimulus in a different way. And again, instead of adding load, I can add volume and add kind of a different variation in a way. And by doing that, and the variation I did obviously was trying to be extremely explosive, a lot of speed. So it's kind of where my head's at with that. And then obviously some cable stuff or whatever, nothing crazy. The overhead that I do, if you watch, like I had to put my leg up on the bench or whatever, that has absolutely nothing to do with like that I think it's better or there's a good reason for it. The only reason is that my cable machine is not the best in the world. It's a pretty decently cheap one on Amazon. It's just what I could get at the time. And if I do not put it on my leg up on the bench, pulling the weight past my head will bring the cable machine completely off the ground. So I have to keep my body weight on it as like a bit of a counterweight, just because the angle that I'm pulling on it really likes to pull the whole thing towards you. So that's pretty much the whole reason for that. So other than that, I thought training went super well, super decent. Very happy with like the way everything performed, the way everything moved, the way that everything was flowing. So yeah, we're gonna shoot for Sunday. We're gonna do our main lower day, which is going to be our main our comp squat, comp deadlift. It'll be start of a week 2. So I'm hitting RP 7s on, I'm doing 8s on squat, 6s on deadlift, and then we got some accessory work after that. So looking forward to that as well. Definitely like some lower body days. So just watched a video actually from Sean Noriega about deadlift variations, and basically all he broke down was like the pause deadlift. Now in the past I've not had decent luck with pause on deadlift. It never really helped and carried over per se. And what I mean by that is when I drove my pause up, I just got stronger at pausing. I didn't have the carryover of it then helping my competition deadlift, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me because I see a lot of people do pause stuff and they swear by it. But I tried it. It didn't work, at least for me. But the way that Sean just explained it, it clicked more in my head and it made more sense. Where he was even more like, well, this just helps you find the position that you're trying to be in. Maybe not so much of even building the strength. It's more about, you know, where are you putting the weight at? Where are you pulling from? Whatever. He talked about a couple different variations you can do. Pause at your knee, obviously. Pause off the floor. But he described and talked about like more of like a tempo, like a below the knee tempo deadlift, where a lot of people, when they are pausing, they don't quite actually pause. It's more like they pull off the floor, they slow down and hit the point where they should be pausing, and they kind of like go past that. But a lot of that is like you slow and speed down and then slowly ramping it back up. And doing that is like a variation to where you're pulling off the ground and up to your knee at a certain tempo, and then you're like just fully locking out at full speed. And I like that, and I might throw that in there. You know, he even talked about doing that more as like your back off sets. So actually I'm going to sit down and give that quite a bit of thought to really see if maybe like that's something that I maybe can throw in and think about it differently. Instead of thinking about it as something to build my deadlift, thinking about it as something to help my deadlift, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're at. Week 1's in the books. We're done with that. So we should be 18 weeks out from the meet, which I'm super excited about, super excited to do. But yeah, I think we made the appropriate changes we need to for this block going this week. I kind of talked about that already. I don't want to change too much of my workouts, but especially since I just made the program, I don't want to like just tweak. But I think that first week going in is where you kind of see some holes, some gaps, some things that need to be filled. And you can really like go, well, maybe I didn't get that too much thought. Or, you know, maybe after looking at it, I do have this and this and this and this and this, and I don't like that. So I think week 1, pretty much success, barely changed. Didn't really change a lot. Maybe change some rep schemes, stuff like that. Because I didn't realize like until I really looked at it on paper, doing back-to-back days of like doing 10s on bench and then 10s the next day and then 10s the next day. It just didn't make a ton of sense in my head. Don't really know why I really thought like that to begin with, but I did. So we try to switch some things up, but going to go into week 2, 18 weeks out. Right now we're sitting at 129 days out or something, 127 days out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you in the next video. If you guys have watched so far, thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying my hardest to put out videos that just really showcase like what normal training may be, whether that's you know, normal training in the aspect of training in a normal garage gym, training as a normal competitor with like a normal lifestyle, somebody that cannot train all day. You know, I don't have 3 hours to put into the gym. I also don't have endless time to get in steps or to do active recovery and stuff. I have a wife, I have kids, I have a life outside of lifting, but I still want to be the best lifter that I can be within those parameters. So if you guys could kind of, you know, really subscribe to the channel and just check in and watch some videos, hit like. I'm really trying to grow more of like this type of platform where I'm not a 900-pound squatter. I'm not a 600-pound bencher. This is more just like, I think what the majority of people's training may look like. I'm going to hit some snags. Things are going to come up in life. I'm going to have to adjust my schedules, adjust how often I train, stuff like that. And I really try to be pretty transparent on like where I think my training's at. I try my hardest to read up on a lot of stuff about training, you know, different studies and stuff like that. watch a lot of content about it, talk about it a lot. It's pretty much all I consume for the most part when it comes to like my own personal life and what I decide like I want to really invest my time into. So as I learn, I try to then show it more in the videos as well. I try to break some things down, kind of where my head's at. I'm not always right. I contradict myself. I go back on what I say as I learn new things, more and more things, new things, stuff like that. But I don't know. I kind of want to really showcase like as I go through my own personal journey of figuring all this kind of stuff out, and trying to fit this into like a normal person's schedule. You know, kind of how does that look? So really want to showcase that. So it really helps out if anybody even likes, comments, subscribes, all that stuff, or just continuously comes back just to watch the video, even if it plays in the background. I really don't care. I just really want to get this type of content out. So, but other than that, I'll see you guys on Sunday. We do a main lower day. So, yeah, we don't have an outro around here. So